We should be rolling.
All right, everyone, if you are listening to us now, that means that the missus is right and we are rolling. And we're doing the pregame. Now I'm trying to control things on her screen, so that won't work at all.
That won't work.
That won't work. But this is the roughly 5 minutes you can skip ahead, and that'll be when the show starts. So that would be just fine with everybody. We won't feel bad about it. But you're welcome to stay, hang
Well, I mean,
around.
only people watching the finished version. I mean, you can't fast forward reality.
Trying to tell the charge news you
Right.
can't make it last
Can't
Tuesday.
make it last Tuesday. Or
Uh,
Wednesday, as it were.
oh, okay. Oh, exit full screen. That did that. Then I move that, and then it moves Ron. It moves Ron Paul when I do that, and that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. And it says we're live. Okay, let's do that and that. All right, I'm set up over here. Says there might be somebody watching, so I'll say hi, yes. If there is anyone out there, about 4 minutes to showtime. Mm.
So you know how your phone will remind you of things?
Mm-hmm.
A couple days ago, my phone reminded me that it was our cat's birthday.
Oh, that's on April 15th.
It is. All cats are born on April 15th.
Oh,
Hey,
Codex is
Codex.
here.
So I feel like my phone
Mm-hmm.
might just start ordering birthday presents for the cat on Amazon.
Just automatically April 15th.
Oh, yeah.
Cats get presents.
It's cats get presents day.
Say Jack Posobiec has a picture up on his in his Twitter.
I don't know who
Is
that is.
no, it's Augusto Pinochet. Well, I mean, you know who Pinochet
Hello,
is,
Catherine.
and it says sometimes heroes do wear capes.
Mm.
Yes, indeed. We're getting ready to that. We're heading towards that part of the civilization, and Mark's even here early, like minutes early, and everything. Mark.
No, I think it's maybe later than what you think it is.
Here, let
Oh,
me play Mark in. You have your own entrance sounder, Mark.
Phil. So,
Codex says
Pinosh.
Codex says every
Oh,
so often I hear things that make me realize I'm living in a science fiction novel. My phone just reminded me of my cat's birthday. That's exactly how I felt, Codex.
oh, all right. 2 minutes to showtime. And Tim gave me a nice compliment on my post today. You'll never read it, the missus, because
Because we've probably talked about it here, because Tim said a nice thing about you.
yeah. All right, less than a minute to go. Um, and this is a poll on the Twitter. It says, "Who would you vote for the biggest wussy of the year?" Dan Eye Patch McCain, Ruben Gallego, Mike McFly Pence, or Adam Kinzinger. I'm going to go with Eye Patch McCain. Oh, he's in second. Adam Kinzinger is in the lead
So I'm
by a
sitting
big
here, right,
margin.
and I keep thinking, I'm hearing water running. Why am I hearing water running? And I realized what it was. I just opened a can of fizzy water.
It was right next to it.
That's my can of fizzy water. Sounds a little like bacon frying.
Mhm.
Oh my God, we have movie sign.
Movie sign.
Yep.
Rocket and
Bots
rolling.
and dance. Bots and dance.
All systems
systems go.
Bombs and bants.
Defiance.
Bombs and bants.
This rebel has a cause.
Bombs and bants.
We begin as wanderers, and we are wanderers still.
Welcome, everyone, to the 124th live edition of Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. As always, I'm your dedicated and humble host, John Wilder, coming to you from the penthouse control room of the majestic Wilder Industries skyscraper. With me, as always, is Mark.
Hey, everyone.
And the missus.
Hello, all you happy people.
The missus tells me that I should that I should say like and subscribe because it really helps out with the algorithm, and that there's merchandise available down below. So there you have it. I said those things. Mark, did you have a good weekend? Are you feeling better? You were feeling ill.
Yeah, I'm feeling better.
Was it the plague?
Weekend was better. Probably.
He's got the
You know,
anthrax.
No, I think it was the plague. You know, I had
Okay.
those purplish black bubles appear around my neck, and
I was hoping it was anthrax because then I could go giddy up, boom, papa, anthrax. Okay. And there's a song nobody remembers. All right. The missus, did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was fine. Just too short.
Mm-hmm. But we did watch, before we got on here, we watched Brandon Herrera break a priceless relic from of firearms history.
That was a really, really cool gun. What was the name of that gun again? A gyro
The
jet?
gyro jet. The gyro
Yeah.
jet.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard about that one, Mark.
he broke it. He broke
Well,
one.
yeah.
Well, it
Totally.
seemed like it was kind of a delicate piece of equipment to begin with. He was not misusing it in any way. It just
Oh, no,
firing it tore it apart.
They were just cheap pieces of crap, but the ammunition's so rare and hard to find.
$200 around.
Yeah, I was going to say, they ain't cheap no more.
Once
Well,
they're
they never
shot-
were cheap. I mean, even when the gun was introduced in the 60s, I think it was like $1 or $2 a round.
Brandon told a very funny story about it, though, because he said that the government wanted, like, laser pistols. Right?
Laser guns.
Lasers, Scott, lasers. Yeah, and so this is what the company came up with. They said, well, it's not a laser, it's a rocket. And the government said, that's not what we asked for. We'll take 1,000.
Shit me
And
1,000.
yeah, they do look pretty cool when he was firing it, because it literally is like just shooting a little tiny rocket out of a gun.
And Ballistics High Speed was there, so they cut it all in perfect slow motion. So it's Brandon Herrera. Maybe you could even put a link in the description.
I don't really know what the name of his channel is.
It's well, I can help you with that. I'll send you the link
All right.
in a bit. So anyway,
Give him
Brandon
some love
Herrera.
on the blog. Put your link on the blog.
Well, yeah. You know, him with 700 million subscribers, and us, with our hundreds of subscribers.
Hey,
So,
we do what we can.
or
we
almost
have-
100.
We have selective appeal.
Yeah, selective appeal. But very individualized.
That's right.
I will note
Only
that he
people
is
with highly refined tastes and opinions.
he is running for Congress against a rhino, and hopefully he does pretty well. It'd be wonderful to have a gun tuber in the
And he's in Texas, right?
yeah. Well, I almost said in the White House, but then I said no. It'd be wonderful if he got into the White House. It'd be the most lit White House in history.
Is
So,
he San Antonio?
Texas.
Okay, you don't know really where. Okay,
All
right.
All right. So are we ready to take a ride?
I believe so.
Well, not to have conversations. We get into the rest of the show.
Right.
Immigration seems to be on everyone's mind, not just conservatives. It seems like even lefties are starting to notice that we're being overrun by hordes of streaming immigrants. Here's a clip from a recent Real Time with Bill Maher when Ted Cruz was on the panel.
And I will tell you before I put the video up for this clip is really hard to find online. And the only place I found it was on another person's channel called Liberal Hive Mind. Check him out. He does good work. And that's why the video looks, it's got kind of got his watermark on it. So I wanted to give him a hat tip because that's where I took it from.
Yep.
All right. So,
Do Republicans have a good answer to address the border crisis other than busing migrants to liberal cities? Ooh, a little dig there, Ted. A little.
It's actually very simple, which is secure the border, and when you apprehend someone, send them home. When Joe Biden started, we had the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years. And he came in and he immediately reimposed catch and release, and it produced the worst rate of illegal immigration in our nation's history. I spent a lot of time at the border. I go out on midnight patrol with Border Patrol agents.
Really?
Many times. You should come. I'll actually bring you if you're interested in. If you want to see.
No.
I will tell you this, actually, Bill. If you saw what was happening, you would be horrified because the people being abused by the traffickers, you don't understand it till you see it firsthand, and it is immoral what's happening at our southern border.
I take your word.
Okay?
I don't have to go.
But it is easy to fix because what actually worked is we had an agreement with Mexico that was called the Remain in Mexico Agreement, which says that if someone crossed into Mexico illegally from typically Central or South America, they would remain in Mexico while their asylum case was proceeding in the U.S., and the numbers plummeted. We had the lowest rate, as I said, in 45 years, and then Biden came in and ripped that international agreement to shreds. And that's what produced now 8.4 million illegal aliens since Biden's been president.
Boy, I walked right into that one, didn't I?
So the funny thing about that, right, is the close-up of Bill Maher when Ted Cruz says, "Come to the border with me."
Mm-hmm.
Right there. No, don't want to do that.
That's every leftist ever when asked to confront the consequences of their policies.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to look at
I don't want to see that. If I saw that, I might be convinced.
I might have to change my mind.
Mm-hmm. Don't
Mark,
confuse me with facts.
Mark, why is it that you love Bill Maher so much?
Yeah, right.
Every time he says something good, the week later he just trashes it completely. Oh, well.
Well, but he is kind of proof that they can learn.
They can learn. And if only there were something that could keep him safe.
Well, last week we had an issue with bridges. This week, it's goats. Are you a goat? Are bridges a problem for you? Introducing Goat Guard, the insurance that's got you covered from the tip of your nose to the end of your tail. With Goat Guard, you can kiss those bridge-related nightmares goodbye. If you act now, we'll include our exclusive Troll Guard coverage. You'll be protected from even the most hideous of trolls.
Me hate goats.
But that's not all. With Goat Guard, you'll be protected from all the troubles a goat can have, from large mountains to delicious, tempting tin cans.
Oh my God.
So, whether you are a fancy show goat, a brazen mountain goat, or just some little girl's pet, trust Goat Guard to keep you safe. Goat Guard, when you're the only goat that matters. Goat Guard is a subsidiary of Slap Goat LLC. Goat Guard.
I think at this time we soothe them.
So does
go ahead.
the troll? So does the troll protection extend to protecting against Hillary Clinton?
I think all trolls are covered by that. I mean, it's a pretty broad policy. They're crazy for doing it, but, it's their money.
Did you just call Hillary Clinton a broad?
No, I called her a troll.
A
A broad troll.
Codex notes, Goat Guard doesn't cover fine binding dangers. And no, it doesn't. Their lawyers said, just can't do that.
It's too much. Can't do it.
Oh. All right. Well, that's too Billy Groth's Gruff too many. Let's move on to... So, your kid is a murdering school shooter. Where are you going now? Not Disneyland. More like the big house. James and Jennifer Crumbly were sentenced yesterday after being convicted of involuntary manslaughter after their son, Ethan, shot up a school. Here's the judge.
I prayed about this case. I thought about this case. And I've considered the possibility for rehabilitation, the need to protect society. The penalty appropriate to the conduct and goal of deterring others from similar conduct, it is the sentence of this court, Ms. Crumley, that you serve 10 to 15 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections. As to defendant James Crumley, it is the sentence of this court that you serve 10 to 15 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections.
So both of them got 10 to 15 years for involuntary manslaughter.
So going back a little bit in time, these are the parents of a school shooter, and so my question immediately came up.
And he's doing life. He's doing life. Their son.
Yeah.
Because he killed 4 people.
Yeah, in fact, should probably be doing more than life, but we can't talk more about that on YouTube. But Mark, do you think that they're going to use this precedent to go after the parents of gang mayors?
No, of course not.
Why not?
Wrong skin color.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I have been told that has nothing to do with justice in America.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I mean, in the woke areas. I mean, this is now. I'll be honest. I don't know the background on why they charge the parents, other than that somehow the child got access to the firearms. Okay,
So,
I don't know if they're.
See, and that's really what I've been
there's more
unclear
to
about
it.
too. Yeah,
Well,
because what I take from it is that they bought him the gun that he used, and like very near to the commission of the crime, they did this, and also that he had told them he needed mental health and the mental health doctrine, and they just didn't do it. But
So the problem is traditionally you've never been liable for the criminal acts of somebody else,
and they
unless there
charged him
was
as an adult.
something like a conspiracy, to commit it,
But
or
Right, there was-
you're
I
an
don't think-
accessory.
I don't think there was any evidence that they helped him plan it.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
it doesn't
lousy
sound. Yeah, it doesn't say. I mean, like I said, I don't know all the details, but I think it's a dangerous step to take where you start just blaming people because they were somehow distant. There's an idea of proximate cause in the law, and it sounds like these parents were maybe a little bit further away on the cause of it. Yeah, maybe they shouldn't have bought the gun or whatever, and I don't know what the legalities of that either, but this just sets a precedent. I mean, your kid goes and steals a car, they're going to throw you in jail for it. Your cousin robs a bank,
And even with this case,
you loaned him your car. Well,
yeah, and even
well,
with
I didn't know he was going to rob a bank. Well,
even with this case, I can't help but think, well, there were other people involved there too. Surely he talked to the guidance counselor at school, talked to his teachers. Surely they had noticed something was wrong. Why are they not liable? Why are they not responsible too?
I forgot.
What?
We used to be a nation of laws. All right, moving along.
Right.
Moving
I
along.
know.
All right, last week it was bridges. This week it's goats. NBC Channel 9 takes us to Kansas City.
We're at the KC Pet Project's barn where the goat has his own pen. To look at him now, it's hard to believe what he's been through.
On Monday night, the mountain goat somehow found its way to a ledge on a 63rd Street bridge about 80 feet above ground.
You wish that they could talk and tell you their whole story.
Word spread on social media. Abby White showed up to watch the rescue and showed KMBC's Matt Evans she brought a possible enticement or reward for the goat.
I want it to be safe. Like, I love animals, so.
And you love goats?
I have a carrot on me.
You
Actually,
do?
yeah.
Do you really?
I have a carrot.
This is not a traditional rescue by any means.
And it looked bad for the goat when an attempted rope rescue resulted in about a 15-foot fall, knocking the animal unconscious. With a vet and firefighters on scene, the goat was sedated, given oxygen and fluids, and taken to KC Pet Project for x-rays.
And then after about an hour after we arrived here, he started to just come back to life.
It turns out it was the goat's second visit to KC Pet Project. His original owners claim someone stole the goat from their farm 2 hours away from Kansas City. After several sightings, animal control officers captured him on Independence Avenue in March. After a local family adopted him, a few days later, he jumped a fence and had been on the loose again until Monday's rescue.
The goat's original owners are expected to come and pick him up and take him home tomorrow. At KC Pet Project, Andy Alcock, KMBC 9 News.
I'm sorry, what was that man's name?
James.
James Sir Benson, Mom? No,
We're at the KC Pet Project, Alcock, KMBC 9. At KC Pet Project, Andy Alcock, KMBC 9 News.
Oh, you're 6
Andy
years old.
Alcock. Andy Alcock.
All right.
You child.
Codex notes he should be a spokes goat.
Absolutely. He needed some goat guard is what he needed.
That's right.
And it's ridiculously funny because it's funny in hindsight, of course, because the goat's fine. But, they tried to put a snare around him. And in doing so, inadvertently, it got caught. And so they inadvertently hung the goat for a few minutes by his neck. And then they dropped him like 15 feet and knocked the goat out. So the goat was unconscious. You got to think the goat rescue was like, when they brought him in, how did he get so beat up on the side of a bridge? Actually, that was us.
Yeah.
Why did you beat the hell out of him?
What does it look like we're doing? An execution?
Yeah, an execution?
All
but the
right.
goat's okay.
Moving along. Do you need a WoeBot? What is a WoeBot?
And not a robot, it's a WoeBot.
As in woe is me bot? Well, it's a thing. Here's the actual commercial for WoeBot.
Need to get something off your chest? Meet WoeBot, the friendly little bot who's ready to listen 24/7. WoeBot's been trained in cognitive behavior therapy, an approach to mental health that is all about identifying distortions in your thinking. WoeBot doesn't do therapy, but he can be your guide to help you figure out things on your own. Oh, and he's effective. Some nice people at Stanford University demonstrated that chatting to WoeBot for 2 weeks led to significant improvement in mood. Every day he asks how your day is going, how you're feeling, and what you're up to. He builds an emotional model of you over time and can help you see patterns in your mood. As he learns about you, he'll teach you things, like useful strategies and practical tools that have been shown to work. You're not troubling him at all. Honestly, he has nothing else to do. So let WoeBot annoy his way into your heart and start feeling better today.
My God, Ted Kaczynski was right.
I know, right?
This is the most
another fine product of the NSA.
Things are getting weird, and they're getting weird fast.
God, I can't believe that's what.
Can you imagine?
These are actual screenshots from that commercial that are on the screen there.
Can you imagine how much information that they'd be able to get from this for their advertising or whatever else they use it for?
And this is just the adult version. There's an adolescent version too.
Oh man, it's like all the cameras in Jeffrey Epstein's Kid Island combined.
Plumbing your psychological depths.
Yeah, boy.
And probably telling children that you can be a boy or a girl. It's your choice.
Oh man.
And WoeBot would say,
I represent science.
As long as it's not using gendered language, for heaven's sake.
I wonder how much they cost, though. That might be sort of interesting to take out.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Well, I'm sure it's an app on your phone because
it is. It's an app on your phone. Yeah.
Oh darn! I can't shoot it.
Oh, all right. Again, I'm telling you, this is one of these days. I'm going to have to bring out Uncle Ted's story hour when Ted Kaczynski.
What the hell is going on?
From Ted Kaczynski about this stuff. Oh, like you always said, honey, it's okay to read Ted Kaczynski. You just don't read him with a highlighter.
That's right.
All right, moving along. We can do better. We can do better than the WoeBot. Why don't you take it away, the missus?
Recent studies show that mental health issues in the U.S. are on the rise. At the same time, it's nearly impossible to get an appointment with a trained therapist. If this is your situation, why not try our new therapy app for your smartphone, Therapy with Samuel L. Jackbot.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Let's hear from some actual patients.
Can you help me worry less about everything?
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
You're right. I feel so much better.
I feel an overwhelming sense of depression. I'm so sad.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
I never thought of it that way. My goldfish died 2 years ago, and I can't get over it.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Why didn't anyone ever tell me this before?
I'm changing careers, and the stress is just overwhelming.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
I never thought of it that way. You're right.
Yeah, like everyone cuts me off when I'm speaking, and I always feel like I'm getting yelled
I don't
at.
remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Can you help me? The Samuel L. Jackbot app is completely free and available on iTunes and in the Google Play Store. You'll never feel alone again with Samuel L. Jackbot.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
A subsidiary of Slapcop Health.
Ah, yes, the Slapcop Health Consortium.
They care about your health.
That may be my favorite commercial you've ever done. Because the thing is, it's a really good product. That's exactly what people need. Boy.
Hey, honey.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Right. And again, buy Slapcop. Tim Turner notes applause because
thank you, Tim.
Either that or applesauce.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty good. But now it is time to take a stroll down that street.
And now it's
sorry. Richard Hammond gets his props.
And now it's time for us to take a stroll down the smooth sidewalks of Conversation Street.
All right. Planet Fitness recently came under Bud Light style fire for having trans people in the changing rooms. I was just wondering, I need your help. They need to rebrand themselves. What's the best new name for Planet Fitness? Is it Planet Wokeness or Empty Planet?
Planet Flobbiness, and we don't mean the flab.
Planet Shrinkage Factor. I don't know.
Planet Sausage Fest.
Oh my, yeah. I've got to say that it is
Planet Lola. There you go.
Planet Lola. So those are all possibilities for it. But the question is, and this is a little bit deeper, and then this is something for some actual philosophical discussion. Is trans the new radioactive? Is it the new thing that is just the bridge too far, or is it even worse than that?
Well, the NAIA came out just this week and said that if you were born a man, you can't play women's sports. Period. Full stop.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the pendulum start swinging the other direction. Question is, how far will it go? Because trans people were real popular in Weimar, Germany, and less popular a few years later.
Well, Tim jumped in
saw
with
that
Planet Peeper.
That's a good one.
But that's pre-surgery.
Well, this guy, it was pre-surgery, and by the way, that happened in Fairbanks, Alaska. Were you aware of that?
I was not.
Yeah.
So just looking at that, I think Mark brings up that is the end stage. People can't get over it, and people can't get past it because they realize it's a bridge too far. I think instinctual, and I think you're right. I think that's the end. That's a good way to end Conversation Street. Unless anybody else had any other bits to say, because otherwise we can go off to.
I don't know. Which one are we going off to? What are we doing?
Jackass the week.
Okay.
This is Neil Young.
Hey! Get that jackass out of here!
and I'm proud to present my Reigning Jackass of the Week.
I'll note that we have 3 candidates this week, and the first one is a mystery even to me, so I'll let the missus walk that one in.
Sure, it's Jerry Nadler, who gets torched by Chip Roy and Thomas Massey. Wait, I lost it. Where'd it go? There it is. Oh, there's this picture. He's so handsome, and he looks like he's asleep, but he's actually playing on his phone. Here he is.
All you can say is that if this regulation is in effect and enforced, it will make it harder for people to have mass shootings because the weapons will be less.
They're talking about gun braces, stabilizers.
Repeatable.
What do you mean by repeatable?
A repeat shooter. That is to say, semi-automatic in effect.
This brace has nothing to do with whether the firearm is manual bolt or semi-automatic or fully automatic.
It makes the pistol, which is otherwise inaccurate. I mean, any pistol is inaccurate, but when you can fire it from the shoulder, it becomes much more accurate.
So the dumbass there clearly was Nadler, and the other guy talking was Thomas Massey. So he's our first jackass. I know, right? See that right there? That's what you call bait for Mark.
There you go.
Take it away, Mark.
That's our first candidate. You get to discuss their merits in just a minute. But there is one who is absolutely the undisputed queen of Jackass of the Week.
Dun, 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 dun.
And here she is.
Talking about Final Four basketball, college basketball.
Do you know, okay, a bit of a history lesson. Do you know that the women's teams were not allowed to have brackets until 2022? Think about that. And talk about progress, better late than never, but progress. And what that has done, because of course when, I had a bracket, it's not broken completely, but I won't talk about my bracket. But you know what, just how we love March Madness, and even just now allowing the women to have brackets and what that does to encourage people to talk more about the women's teams, to watch them. Now they're being covered, and this is the reality. People used to say, oh, women's sports, who's interested? Well, if you can't see it, you won't be. But when you see it, you realize, oh.
Did you realize that prior to 2022, I mean, she's only half right there, that women weren't even allowed to look at brackets?
That's right.
And it was like a federal law.
They would be beaten.
Yeah. And in fact, they still played games and they still had a tournament, but it was just, they would all be in the stands and someone would say, go, and they would all run to the court, and the first 2 teams that were on the court, they played each other.
And that's why they all carried guns.
Yes.
So
yeah.
That's it. And only Jerry Nadler could stop them. All right. Muslim leader Tarek Abazi, as opposed to Ruth Buzzy, who led this little demonstration of last week.
Malcolm X said, and I quote, "We live in one of the rottenest countries that has ever existed on this earth. It's not Genocide Joe that has to go. It's the entire system that has to go. Any system that would allow such atrocities and such devilry to happen and would support it, such a system does not deserve to exist on God's earth." And so when these fools ask us if Israel has the right to exist, the chant "Death to Israel" has become the most logical chant shouted across the world today.
See, and that's what they were shouting there at the end, was "Death to Israel." And at the beginning of that clip, they were shouting "Death to America." Now you might think, oh, wow, that must be, in Gaza or someplace like that. No. Dearborn, Michigan. Last week, Friday.
Oh, thanks, Democrats, for your immigration policies.
Yeah, well, I kind of feel, he's got, what is that, the Iranian flag behind him there? I think that would be a good place for him to live.
No, it's not an Iranian flag.
Whatever it is. It's one of those here. Let me quote our former president
All
and
right,
say, and our future president and say, it's one of those shithole countries.
There you go. All right, so Mark, you have the first vote, but I'm telling you, online it's a pretty strong currents already.
Well, gosh, this is the hard one because Nadler's just a friggin' idiot. But even worse than idiots are traitors. So I would have to go with number 3. And as far as Dearborn goes, I think we're going to reach a point soon where the only solution is to nuke it from orbit.
Well, I don't even need to vote because Tim voted 3, Catherine voted 3, you voted 3. So 3 is the magic number.
Well, it seems to me that we could certainly, the FBI, somebody mentioned January 6th here, certainly with the facial recognition we had in January 6th, we could certainly discover the people in that crowd and find out the ones who are here on visas and just kick them out of our fucking country. You don't have to be here. You can leave.
Oh, Codex jumped in with the 3 as well. So It looks like it is unanimous. I didn't even have to vote. So.
And this has been Neil Young's Brain Jackass of the Week.
I think NASA should turn him into the amateur astronaut program and trebuchet him to Cuba. So, all right. Anyway,
I think he should be the first person on the surface of the sun.
There you go. But we'll get to that in a minute.
We just give him a short helicopter ride.
I do have a note that former Congressman Adam Kinzinger was today on the Don Lemon show, and that marks the first time that Don has had a guest that's gayer than him. All right, now Hero Week, folks. All right, time for.
You can try that again? I guess not.
Sure.
Think real fast.
All right, that actually sounded good this time. Headline from Reuters: Biden says he's examining his power to shut the U.S. border on his own. Mark, do you feel that he should just take his time since there's no hurry and it'll all be fine?
No, I think we really need to put him down there on the border by himself and let nature take its course.
The missus when Biden
what am I doing here?
The missus when Biden undid all of Trump's border policies on his first day in office, do you think he should have shoved that mask he was wearing straight up his own butt?
I think so. Yeah, and it's just such it's true though. This really does kind of leave me speechless. I heard this on the news today. Them yapping about, well, we need the law so we can do this. No, you don't. Just enforce the laws that exist. That's all you have to do. It's very easy.
Right.
Well, the Democrats aren't going to do it because they benefit from it. Even assuming that none of these illegals are going to be voting illegally, which is, of course, a joke. They still expand the population in a lot of these blue states, which population will get counted and used for, allocating the number of congressional seats and so forth, and federal aid and a bunch of other programs.
Yeah, someone once said if they were all coming across the border wearing MAGA hats, the Democrats, we'd have a 50-foot wall down there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What you need are getting women against immigration, and you need to go back to my policy. It's females only, rated 8 and above. 9 or 10, come on in. 8's great, and nobody else can come in. You will have machine gun nests at the border next week if you did that policy. I'm telling you. All right, Russian forces are apparently getting ready.
I think you're wrong on that because the problem, right, the people who are running the Democrat Party now are white women under the age of 35, and they all think they're 10s. Even the ones that weigh 250 pounds and have blue hair and, all that metal shit in their face. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. They all think that. I was watching some video the other day, and there was this guy walking down the street, and cause he was from a conservative outlet, and he was a reasonably attractive young man. And he would run into women and say, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you put me? And they go, oh, you're like a 6. And they go, well, where do you put yourself? Oh, I'm a 9.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving along. It's a joke. Russian forces are apparently getting ready for a counter-offensive.
Are you threatening me?
Which is not a repeat from the other dozen battles of Kharkov. Mark, how many battles would it take for you to say, maybe I shouldn't live in Kharkov?
Probably 1.
The missus?
I don't know. Maybe it's impossible. Sort of like finding, how many licks it takes you to the center of a Tootsie Pop.
There were like 3 between 1941 and 1943. I mean, Kharkov, bad place. Okay, the missus. How long until Zelensky gets Gaddafi'd?
I kind of lost the whole Gaddafi thing with the whole 9/11 stuff. What happened with that? I don't really remember.
His own people.
Oh, did they? I don't know. I mean, it would.
Well, Hillary invaded the country and came and saw and killed him. So, oh no, maybe that's the wrong country. Which one? Gosh, she and Obama invaded so many. Now I'm getting confused.
All right, moving along. The Saudis were going to build a 100-mile-long city in a straight line. After further review, the city will now be 1.5 miles long. Only a 98% reduction. Mark, is there a single person alive who actually thought they were going to build this silly city? And since you did, how are your hopes? Are your hopes now a dashed line?
Well, I myself, I have to say, I'm disappointed, but not surprised, because a 100-mile long city that's like a 1/2 mile wide is actually a pretty stupid idea.
Did you hear what I said? Dashed line.
Yes, a dashed line.
Okay.
No, but 1 mile long. I mean, what's that?
1.5 miles long.
A village.
It's actually, in this case, it's 300,000 people they're thinking are going to live in it. The missus, do you think the Saudis stopped because they discovered this thing called the suburbs?
It's possible. How big do you want the city to be?
To infinity and beyond!
All right. A Daily Mail story reports that marriage and babies make women happier. Mark, is this before or after Prozac?
Well, yeah, I don't know. No, it had some good stuff in there. Basically, when you read the article, what you come away with is that essentially it's a rejection of feminism. So feminism makes you depressed and crazy, which pretty much describes the left.
Well, and there are lots of guys out there ready to help out with that.
We have top men working on it right now.
Mark? Oh, I'm sorry. The missus, is this because
I'm sorry, did you just confuse me with Mark?
No, I read the wrong line. The missus, is this because most mothers don't have a Pugsley?
That's probably the reason.
All right, moving along.
If Pugsley was our first child, he'd have been our only child.
Yeah. Sheila Jackson Lee, Democrat Congress moron from Texas, noted to a group of high schoolers that the moon is, and I quote, a planet made up entirely of gases, and that she wanted to
What a dumbass!
But the Earth, bizarrely, needs the energy the moon produces at night. Mark, can you think of a better Democrat to be on the House Space Subcommittee due to the vacuum between her ears?
Yeah, it's sort of amazing she did that. And it's actually worse than that. She also said that the reason for the eclipse was because the gaseous moon had gotten too close to the Earth and they had to switch off the light. She is so stupid.
What a loser!
Well, we don't need farms. We have grocery stores. All right, the missus, do you think that she'd vote for a mission to the sun, but only if we went at night?
Only if she goes. Yeah, only if exactly.
Okay.
Take flashlights so we can see.
The UK is uneasy about 3DZ or 3D printed firearms. sounded better than when I wrote it. The UK is committed to a PowerPoint 3D printer licensing. They're going to do a PowerPoint. That's one of the things they committed to. Doing a PowerPoint, they're going to license 3D printers, and they're going to allow cruel and unusual punishment. And most importantly, they're going to develop a big fluffy mascot like you'd see at a football game to convince young people that 3D guns are not fun. Mark, does it surprise you that the UK is collaborating with a military junta in Myanmar to make this happen?
No. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I feel like the UK is just getting ready to round up all of the native English and lead them off to concentration camps.
Yeah. The missus, nothing ever good happens without a mascot, right?
That's right. Do we need a mascot? I'm sorry, I was messing with my chat window. I was not listening. Sorry.
It is to me. It's an irony that Britain was on the winning side in World War II, and yet immediately turned around and adopted all of the principles of the National Socialist regime.
Well, except for eye care, because the eclipse was the day before, and Google is now reporting that in the path of the totality, that there are a large number of people Googling burning eyes. Mark, did they have it coming?
Well, yeah, because they probably just thought that it was caused by the moon getting too close to the Earth.
And actually, it's funny because they had Sheila Jackson Lee trying to put on her glasses, eclipse glasses, and she couldn't figure out how to do them, right?
Putting it under. It was like she thought it was a mask. It was under her nose.
And she kept saying, pretend like you can see. She was telling her aides, pretend like you can see. While she was still on mic. That's hilarious.
Oh gosh, she is so stupid.
The missus,
and the amazing part is she graduated from Yale.
Well, they probably couldn't wait to get her out of there. The missus.
How the hell did she get in?
Back to the eclipse. How many refunds?
No refunds.
No refunds. All right. Whoopi Goldberg, still desperately trying to remain relevant, today said that Republicans want to bring back slavery. Mark, do you want Whoopi Goldberg anywhere near your personal property?
No. She looks like she'd eat all my food anyway.
All right. The missus, I thought Whoopi retired from comedy in 1988 because that's the last time she was funny.
Wait, Whoopi was a comedian?
Really? She was funny?
She's such an idiot!
Okay. The
I was
US
a little
Navy.
late. I should have played that for She-Jack, but...
Yep. The U.S. Well, you save it for right now. The U.S. Navy posted a command grade officer, somebody who has a grade high enough to command a ship, firing a weapon on Instafacegram or whatever social media the Navy has. The rifle that the officer was firing had a scope. The scope was backwards. Mark, is it because the Navy has such amazing eyesight that they need to have it degraded by a factor of 60 or more just to make it fair?
To be fair, she thought that she was shooting at very small targets.
It was a dude. All right. And
okay. Are you sure?
Well, it's the Navy.
It's hard to say in this.
It's the Navy. Who can tell? It's Biden's
they're
Navy.
Fabulous.
Yes. The missus, is this bad optics?
Yeah, I'd say so.
You like that one?
I did.
Okay.
Here,
right.
that deserves.
All right, and our final Think Real Fast for the week. Senator Rand Paul notes that Ukraine is getting more money than the United States Marine Corps. Mark, could the Marines get more money if they enlisted only Ukrainian Marines?
That's a good question. Because, there's an awful lot of money laundering needed to do that, and they would lose. There's always, that middleman taking stuff. So I don't know. That's an interesting. conundrum. Maybe the Marine Corps should spend a few million to study it.
There you go. The missus, without this cash, how will the Marines afford crayons to eat?
They'll have to steal them from the Navy.
Yeah, the Navy will never see that coming, will they?
No, they won't.
Well, all right. Anybody have anything else for the good of the order tonight on this?
All right, we have to close
Wednesday?
this out.
Oh.
Think real fast.
Anyone else have anything else for the good of the show this wonderful, wonderful evening? That's crickets. Well, on that note, I'd like to thank everyone for coming to Bombs and Dance and Wednesday Rants. I am your dedicated and humble host, John Wilder.
And this is Mark.
And you're way, way too early on that. You just planned that, don't you?
I do, because I didn't do it all last week.
Well, I can repeat it again. I'm Mark.
And I'm the missus.
Sometimes my genius is... it's almost